Okay, so I just received this in the mail. It's a small package from Cool Mini or Not, and I'm 100% sure this is the Kickstarter campaign they were in, where they were introducing their new comics series. They did graphic novels for 3 of their biggest titles, which was Zombicide, Cthulhu Death May Die, and Zombicide. So Zombicide 2nd edition, Cthulhu Death May Die, and Zombicide Invader. And so they're just trying to expand their market, I guess. So they did comic books, they're getting RPGs. But this one was just, I only went for the Cthulhu Death May Die set, which includes a graphic novel and also a set of unique miniatures and their game and their playing cards for the game. So a little bit of extra content just to sort of sweeten the deal. So this will be interesting to see. Of course, CMON is known primarily or originally for miniatures and then games that involve miniatures. And they've simply expanded into doing a lot of games that don't have miniatures. So here's that box, and here's the actual graphic novel, and this is hardcover. Really nice. So matte finish with a gloss finish on some of the titles. And there's about a bunch of pages. And it is they've got writers and artists together and put together a full comic book, graphic novel. So if this was directly to retail in comic book format, this would be about a year's worth or 12 issues worth of comic books. So that's pretty cool. I'm interested to see where they go with that because they have a lot of different game IP, and a lot of it is very, very thematic. So there's a lot of room for them to do this kind of storytelling. So this is the comic book extras box. So it comes with 6 characters, all set in this 1920s Cthulhu H.P. Lovecraft mythos America. As you can see in the back of the box, you've got 6 miniatures, 6 dashboards, and then some extra things: detective tokens, painting tokens, and some new cultists. So this is interesting. Of the 3 sets, this is the only one that didn't come with like a big new monster miniature. Instead, it just had some extra cards from the cultists. Some people were unhappy about that, but I think it was pretty well explained as being as a result of the fact that the monsters in Cthulhu are a lot harder to balance. Whereas like in Zombicide, you just create some simple rules and plonk it in there. So there's 4 new cultists: the Zealous Cultist, the Mad Cultist, the Pyro Cultist, and the Reckless Cultist. So that's kind of cool. So when you're playing the game, normally the cultists are just sort of printed onto a larger card, but now you can overlay that with one of these and sort of change the rules of the cultist that usually go out there. So that's a neat thing. And here's those punch boards, the detective tokens, and the other kind of tokens. And here's the dashboards. So let's see if I can get that open. Wow. So this is not like besides the comic book, you basically get this sort of small expansion content. So this isn't the usual like extravaganza of I'll open that in a second, of stuff getting added in. Like when you normally buy something, like do a Kickstarter in CMON, you're getting tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of extra stuff. And they did with this. I mean, like the original thing was like, here you get a comic book and you get like a miniature, and that's pretty cool. And then because they did well enough, they were able to add like 6 to 8 miniatures to every single one of those 3 comic books. They also did add-ons for some of the other stuff like Arcadia Quest. So can we see her very well? Oh yeah, so she's a painter. And here's a guy who appears to be a bit of a gunfighter with his pistols. And here's a guy with a shotgun and what looks like some sort of Aztec fighting bat. And then our club, I mean. Here's a lady with a skull and kind of a cool Scarlett O'Hara dress. And then here is another guy with guns who is totally confident to shoot in two directions he's not looking. Why not? And then here's the original one. It's a little girl, and she's got a jar, and it's supposed to be like a head inside of it. And the head speaks to her psychically and gives her instructions, which is creepy. If you haven't played or don't know the rules of Quickly or Death My Dead, one of the main ideas is the main characters, your characters that you're playing are not only going insane, but they're pretty much already insane at the start of the game, and they actually derive their power from their insanity. So the further you go into the game, the more you level up, the more crazy you become, the more abilities you get sort of derived from your craziness. But then you reach a point where you just get way too insane and you lose. You're basically dead. You become a gibbering madman or madwoman. And you can no longer function and the game is over. So it's a cool mechanic. So you can see there's the insanity track there. As that goes up, focus. As that goes up, you get to these points and you get to do upgrades on your abilities. And everyone has this, a choice of a selection of the generic abilities like stealth and swiftness, and every character has their own unique ability, Arcane Painter. When you rest, place or move a painting token within one space of you, investigators may discard a painting in their space to prevent one attack against them. All right, let me see if I can get this thing open. It's making me very annoyed. That you won't open. Which I think is a really cool way of doing it. So every character, I like that every character has their unique upgrade track. But that most of what's there is a couple of abilities that are, there's about 10 or so abilities that are shared between all the various characters. And in doing it that way, it makes each character unique, but it stops you from having to learn new rules tons of new rules for every single character you play. Because a lot of them, like toughness and swift, it's very simple, very straightforward. Like you move more spaces or you can take more damage. And it's like the same for every character that I have. All right, I got it. Gee whiz. Sometimes that shrink wrap is just so difficult. All right, so there's Tamara, the painter, Alan, who's a detective. Look, see, detective, that's his special ability. And as you go insane, you can choose to take each of these tracks and upgrade them. So you can make your detective go all the way here. And by the end, you have this ability. You may also discard 2 detective tokens to perform an extra action. So he gets those detective tokens. And here is Jack, the truck driver. Looks like their special ability is actually their profession. That makes it easy. Rocco, the war veteran. Annabelle can do channeling because she's a channeler. And Lisa and Malakoda. I think that's that. There it is. Is it a heart? It's some sort of disgusting organ in a very ornate jar. If you end your turn in a safe space, make a roll, heal 1 stress or health, or for each success, lose sanity. Cool, and I love it when they put the backstory on the back. So like if you want a bit more of that theme and you want a bit more sort of role playiness, you can read about the characters on the back and sort of get an idea for the person that you're supposed to be playing. I like that. I like it. So that is what I got of the CMON comic book collection, the first one. I just decided not to go nuts with it and get all 3. I really didn't feel like I needed extra player content for either of the zombie sites that they were offering because I don't use all of the ones that I have already. But this game Cthulhu Death May Die, I was quite happy to see more content for that because as far as I know, they're not going to be making any more content for it. And it's an awesome game. And because of its modular nature, every little bit that you put in there potentially adds to the game. All right, that's it. Cthulhu Death May Die, the comic book from Cool Mini or Not Games. If you like that, please like and comment below. Feel free to subscribe for more of my videos. And if you want to hear further reviews of my games or interviews, please visit us at Hot Game Magnet. You can find us on Facebook or on iTunes.